For my literacy bag, I chose to do the book 100 Billion Trillion Stars by author Seth Fisherman. This book was for my student who's in first grade, and the Lexile level is 650L. The theme of this book is kind of about big numbers, so like the number of gallons of water on the planet, the number of trees, the number of ants, things like that. The theme of my lessons, I kind of did a variety of different themes in a way. The book doesn't have one set theme. It starts in space and then it like kind of focuses in. It goes from space to the planets, to the earth, to cities, then into buildings, into people, and it kind of goes like that. So it kind of goes from broader into pinpointing, going down to like specific things. But my first lesson was from the beginning of the book, so it was about space, and my student had to describe a planet, and then my next lesson was about characters, and then my final lesson was about settings. So as we went through, the themes of the lessons kind of changed. My bag directions, unfortunately my student didn't bring back the literacy bag, so I just have a picture of it. And this is my bag. You can see I pretty much just copied the front of the book. So it says 100 billion trillion stars, and it has the earth and it has some stars, and then it says Caleb's bag because I'm letting him keep it. As I said, he kept it at home, and I wanted him to feel like it was his bag, so I did that. For the materials that I kept in the bag, I just kept the book in the bag. I kept crayons and markers, even though he would bring out his like pencil box when we'd work on it, but I kept them just in case like we needed to do something specific and he didn't have a color or something like that. Specifically what I worked on a lot was characters and settings. The beginning this book was a little difficult because there weren't characters in the sense like of a normal book, like, oh, this book is about Peter Rabbit and he's the character, or this book is about Winnie the Pooh and he's the character. This was there weren't really the characters didn't have names. It was more focused on the numbers and less focused on like the characters. But at the beginning, like, we described the earth, so that was a big thing, was using illustrations and keywords in the text to describe an object. So we did describing space, and then we looked at, there were people in the book. They were just they weren't like seen as characters. They were just like part of the illustration. So we used those, and I said, okay, well, this is a character in the book. They don't have a name, but they're still a character. And we did that, and we described them. So we did a lot of using illustrations because he loves to draw and he loves art. Using illustrations and using keywords to describe those illustrations and writing them. So that was something big that we did. With my parents, the activity we did, I created a book called Caleb's Earthly Numbers Book. And what he had to do, I gave him a topic. So like this one says species of fish in the ocean, and he had to find the earthly number. So he would look up number of species of fish in the ocean, and he got his earthly number, and then he had to write a fact about it. So he said there are dolphins in the ocean, and then he got to draw a picture. So that was my parent activity. And finally, for technology, there wasn't really much technology that I used. In my first lesson, we went to the author's website because he has a really cool website, and we kind of looked at the website on my iPad and did stuff like that. And in the first lesson, we used my iPad to look up. He chose Jupiter, I believe, as the planet he wanted to research, and we used my iPad to research that. And then in the parent lesson, they used their computer or iPad or phone, whatever they decided to use, to research the earthly numbers and the facts. But other than that, that's all the technology I used, and that is my literacy bag. Thank you.